sessions of the day, the Leaders Dialogue, Building Hub Excellence with Leadership and Strategic Vision. In today's fast-evolving aviation landscape, airports are not just gateways. They are the global hubs into connectivity, commerce, and experience. What sets a great hub airport apart from the rest? What strategies, investments, and leadership qualities are driving excellence? To explore these questions and more, we are joined in this session by an exceptional panel of airport leaders who are transforming their airports into world-class hubs. This dialogue will shed light on attracting airlines and passengers, optimizing operations, leveraging partnerships, and reimagining the passenger journey. We will also address the critical challenges from infrastructure, bottlenecks to regulatory frameworks, and how success stories from across Asia and the Middle East. So, ladies and gentlemen, moderating this esteemed panel is Mr.Dorian Reece, Global Airport Lead and Head of Aviation, Middle East, Deloitte. Let's put our hands together to invite him on the stage. And he would also like to invite distinguished speakers for this session. Mr. Akihiko, President and CEO of Narita International Airport Corporation. Warm welcome to you, sir. And inviting once again on stage Mr. Jaipuriar, CEO, Delhi International Airport Limited. Warm welcome once again, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the discussion, allow me to briefly introduce our moderator for this session, Mr. Dorian Reece, who is a partner at Deloitte, where he leads the infrastructure and real estate practice in the Middle East and serves as the global head of airports. With over 22 years of experience in commercial strategy and corporate finance in the transport sector, he brings deep industry insights from his work across the UK, Middle East, and Australia. He has advanced and advised governments on national aviation strategies and led major PPP programs involving airports, airlines, ports, and railways. So, ladies and gentlemen, I now hand over to Mr. Dorian Reece to kindly steer this dynamic conversation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all. And I'm really glad to see just how many people have made it back from lunch. And there's an obvious reason for that, and that is just people that we're talking to today are real leaders in this industry. The focus of the conference is how airports transform from regional leading airports into global hub airports. The focus for this conversation, leveraging the capabilities and industry knowledge that we have, is understanding how leadership and setting a strategic vision can put an airport on the path from being a regional airport and blossoming into a global hub airport. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Would you like to just make some opening remarks with regards to your roles, Mr. Vijay? Firstly, thank you very much for the esteemed sponsorship and the hospitality that you've shown myself and all the delegates that have been here today and yesterday.
Thank you, Dorian. So, as an opening, we at Delhi are looking forward to actually increasing the hubbing experience at Delhi Airport, and we have seen that with the kind of growth that we are seeing in the Indian domestic aviation market. So the first target that we have kept is that Delhi should become a preferred hub for Indian passengers to start off with, because we have got the kind of fleet which is unmatchable, because we are the third biggest domestic market. So overall we have, and Delhi Airport basically needs to look at the connectivity, look at passenger experience, look at technology deployment for driving operational efficiency, and also work towards sustainability. So these are some of the 4 pillars which actually needs to be driven to become a successful hub airport. So we're looking forward and we are working towards ensuring that we are able to transform ourselves to even a more stronger and more preferred brand for Indian travelers.
Excellent. Mr. Akihiko.
Hello everyone, my name is Akihiko. I'm our President and CEO over at Narita International Airport. Maybe some of you know that our Narita Airport is the largest international airport in Japan, handling last year 40 million passengers. That is the 90% of the pre-COVID level, and out of our 40 million, 33 was an international and 7 domestic. And also we handle our international cargo, 2 million tons. So our international air cargo are accounting for our 230 billion US dollars. And looking at all seaports and airports in Japan, Narita is ranked number 1. But later on, I'll touch upon. But Narita Airport has never truly been a hub airport. Actually, we are sort of a OD demand-based airport. But looking at our growth of the overall Asia Pacific market, I think there are compelling reasons to enhance our role as a hub. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Can I turn to you, Mr. Viday? The benefit that you have leading India's largest airport, how do you define a successful hub airport, and how does that inform your future strategy and vision for the development of the airport going forward?
Thank you. Very relevant question. So, how I see as a hub airport, successful hub airport, is a place where you ensure passenger experience, especially people who are transiting through the airport. And that basically means that a collaborative effort between all the stakeholders involved, because it is not only airport's job to make it a successful hub, it is a combined effort of airlines, combined effort of the agencies which operate at the airport. And airport typically provides the infrastructure as well as the technology backup to ensure that passenger experience is paramount. So what we are working towards is improving our connectivity. We are already connected to 70 international destinations, and we have got 80 domestic destinations. So we are the only airport in India which is connected to 150 locations. So I'm getting feed from 80 domestic, and actually that feed is going forward to 70 international destinations. And some of the long-haul destinations, in fact, our connection is very good in terms of as compared to some of the other airports in the region, whether it is North America or whether it is Europe. Our connectivity is that much better, and it has been improving. Especially we have seen that during COVID and post-COVID, there has been a lot of demand for direct connectivity to some of the locations, and people are willing to pay a premium for that. So that is where we have seen a flip in terms of the number of destinations getting added, especially in long haul. And in fact, there is more and more demand coming over there. But all this you cannot service till the time you have got a very well-defined slot banks. And when you talk about slot banks, that basically means that your infrastructure has to meet up with that short-term surge in traffic. And your operational efficiency should be able to deliver and maintain the passenger experience. So that is where we have invested in expanding some of those transfer facilities, as well as implementing the supporting operational equipments as well as digital solutions to ensure that the travel is seamless. And with this increase, there is also a very focused approach on ensuring that all this is done in a very green manner. So in terms of sustainability, how we make sure that the overall turnaround time, which also has got a direct impact on carbon emission of the aircraft, as well as there is a better responsibility towards the environment. So in terms of actually reducing our specific electricity consumption, specific water consumption, so all that we are focusing on.
Fantastic. Mr. Tamura, you're on a growth trajectory towards becoming a hub airport. How does that define your vision for Narita Airport going forward? And also, how do you implement that strategy? I see also often airports having a very nice strategy, but it's that next level of execution. How do you empower your C-suite and your reports to really bring that vision and strategy to life?
Well, there are, just I told you earlier, our airport has never truly been an airport, but generally speaking, to become a hub airport, you need to have sufficient local or customer demand, and also you need to have good geographical location, and also you need to have the necessary infrastructure or capacity to handle the high volume traffic, and there are minimum requirements, and these days the successful hub airports have additional features like smooth and comfortable passenger experience, and also there are stronger connectivity, and also successful hub airports are continuously investing in the new technologies, and also the maintenance and renovation of the infrastructure. And from that perspective, Narita has the sufficient local demand, as well as the favorable geographical location, but we need to have the more capacity, and also we have ample room for improving in the area of the passenger experience, the connectivity, and also new technologies, innovation. We devised the future vision for the newer Narita Airport, and under that plan, we're going to construct our new runway, and we also extend the existing second runway to double the capacity, the current capacity, and also we're gonna promote the introduction of the new technologies for automatizing and labor saving for business service providers, as well as airlines, and also through the new technologies that we're gonna accomplish more comfortable and smooth passenger experience. Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Vide, where you are geographically situated, you've got some big boys down the road in the Middle East that have got already very mature hubs. We heard from Paul this morning. Two-part question. Firstly, how do you position yourself competitively? And two, related to that, do you see the changing aircraft economics, increasing maturity of the Indian airline market, providing greater destinations and point-to-point as an opportunity for Delhi Airport to really counter that historic competitive position that you were in with the Middle East hub airports?
We don't see Middle East hubs as a direct competition. because Middle East hubs are the places from where you learn how to actually improve the passenger experience, especially during hubbing. Our strength and our differentiation is basically the strong domestic fleet, because as you have heard the Secretary as well as the Minister talking about stronger regional connectivity inside India, and going from 74 airports to 160 airports. So we are seeing a surge in domestic traffic, and it's not possible for this domestic traffic to connect from their respective locations. So that is where the importance and the hubbing possibility of Delhi airport improves. Second, in terms of geographical location, once I have got that connectivity, which is primarily dependent on domestic fleet. Just to share with you a figure, say for example, last year we had a total international traffic of about 21.5 million. Out of that, 6 million was connecting traffic. And most of that was by domestic fleet. So almost close to about 30% of my traffic is connecting over Delhi, and out of that 30%, most of it, I would say close to about 85 to 90% is domestic traffic. So that fleet is going to improve with better connectivity, because people also feel more comfortable connecting in their own country instead of connecting outside, because they are much more comfortable about the kind of communication, the kind of facilities that they are familiar with. Second thing that we have seen is that with the better fleet of connecting traffic, now our dependence, we have got a very strong O&D traffic. So close to 70% of our current traffic is O&D traffic for most of the international destinations. So that being the core, then my connectivity is increasing on a very regular basis. Second change that has happened is that there are both the Indian carriers who have now aspirations to go long haul, which was not the case say 3 or 4 years back. So that is where the new orders of aircraft, which actually makes it possible for them to do long haul, and that is where they also are working very closely with us in terms of ensuring that they do their capacity planning, they do their network planning based on what they can serve. And we are working closely with them. We are also taking help from different government agencies, because they are third most important pillar in this whole work. So in terms of getting additional people, whether it is in immigration, because while you're having some of those passengers, they don't need your check-in facility, they don't need your normal O&D facility, but they need the immigration facility. So in terms of increasing number of people in immigration, improving the technology, even in immigration, and Trusted Traveler program is one of them. So all these are facilitating. All these are equally important for us to actually have a competitive advantage over some of the other locations where Indians would want to travel from.
Mr. Tamura, your airport, you're in direct competition with Haneda. I would like to understand a little bit more how you position yourself competitively against Haneda, what your angle is to really take both O&D as well as transfer. How do you position yourself with such a competitor so close to home?
Okay, yes, as you pointed out, our India Tokyo metropolitan area, we have two major airports, Haneda and Narita, and well, they may appear to be fiercer competitors, but in reality are the two airports balance our competition and collaboration, actually. Well, the route allocation policies are broadly coordinated by the government of Japan, GOJ. Actually, there are, in case of Haneda, while the land side is managed by the private company, the airside is operated by the GOJ. And in case of Narita, the NAA do or everything for both airside and land side. And so in terms of airside management of the both airports, the GOJ is involved. So the collaboration and the coordination is a little bit easier. And well, originally there are in the Tokyo area, the only airport was the Haneda, and but with the increasing demand for the air travel, the Narita was constructed and opened in 1978 as a kind of dedicated international airport. And at that time, Haneda was designated as a domestic airport. But through the construction process, we had stronger oppositions from the local communities. And so our expansion of Narita kind of were slowed. And so with your ever increasing international air traffic, the government decided to shift back some of our international flights to Haneda gradually. And so now the two airports are handling their international passengers also. But the roles of the Haneda and the Narita is Haneda located near our city center, has limited slots and also the constraints for the expansion. So Haneda handles our domestic flights. And also our international air passengers demand for especially business travelers. And in case of Narita, Narita serves our international passenger demand for the tourists, and also our functions as our central basis for the international air cargo. And also we handle some of our domestic LCC demand. But now we are starting in 2020, Haneda opened our approach route flying over the central Tokyo, and that made the Haneda 50 daily late afternoon flights. But that increase pushed the Haneda to the capacity of Haneda to the limit. And so there are leaving just our minimum room for the expansion. Narita has to increase their capacity as a Tokyo metropolitan area as a whole. And then, as I told you before, we devised the newer future vision. And so actually, as far as the international demand for air travel, Haneda and Narita are to some extent competing with each other, but the two airports are collaborating to kind of accommodate our increasing international demand, especially inbound demand to the Tokyo Metropolitan Airport and areas. Yes.
Thank you. Vinay, I woke up this morning in this hotel, and as a bit of a weird airport geek, and I feel that I'm in a room with my same kind, I was overlooking the runway, which is a fantastic place to wake up, to be able to just watch airport operations and takeoff and landings. But it made me realise just how constrained your site is, and what you're working with in terms of proximity to the city, how close everything is. I'd like to better understand what technology and systems you are using to really, I think as it was described earlier today, sweat the asset. So the default is not straight to CapEx and building more, but actually getting more throughput to really address this escalating sort of growth that you're experiencing.
Sure. So, in terms of getting an efficient operation, and especially in a situation where we see a very strong growth coming year after year, and we are expecting that from a current load of 478 million in next 5 years, we should be able to cross 100 million. We have just expanded our airport to meet that capacity. You need firstly the connectivity on the roadside, so that is something that we work very closely with the government. And there are already many projects which have got approved, and that is something which is going to improve. As far as terminals is concerned, so just to share with you, Terminal 3 originally was designed for 34 million. We are already processing 50 million from there by debottlenecking. So how do you debottleneck? Firstly, you figure out that what are the congestion points, so you elevate those congestion points. Nextly, you put in the technology that is required to improve the efficiency of those points. So, for example, DigiYatra is one of the way to reduce our time for some of the processing points where passengers, instead of 20 seconds doing a manual process, can get it done in 5 seconds. So that has helped us. Next, the most important thing that I see as a game changer in the next 2 to 3 years, because already has started yielding result for us, is APOC. So through APOC, what we are able to do, that we have got a predictive load that we are able to give for plan of the day, and that is something that we share with all the stakeholders so that they can plan their resources. It helps them in terms of doing a flexi manning, that at what hour of the day, which is the point which is likely to see a higher turnout, and that way they are able to sweat the same manpower across various touch points. And this also helps us sweat the asset better, because then I can elevate my number of people deployed at different points, which actually helps us sweat that asset. We are also looking at lot of other improvements. So government also, in terms of trusted traveler program for immigration for basically Indians and Indian origin people, they have come out where they can be pre-cleared for immigration, and that actually has reduced the load on immigration agents. There is an adoption that is coming. Similarly, wherever we have seen challenges, we have been able to bring in some sort of a technology. Like any foreigner coming in for the first time to India has to give his biometric, especially if the person has got an e-visa. So that was taking a lot of time for individual immigration counters. We put up those biometric kiosks, and in fact, almost 40% of the first-time travelers are using those biometric kiosks, which reduces load on the immigration counter. So we always keep on looking at those opportunities where we can sweat the asset better. Right now, for example, I have got a capacity constraint on the international side. So about 10, 12 years back itself, or 15 years back itself, when Terminal 3 was designed, it was designed in a manner that the